This is the WWE story they never wanted the world to uncover. On the very first episode of Raw this year, two of the most powerful names in the company held a private backstage meeting so tightly guarded that even the cameras were kept far away. Tonight, we're breaking down the exclusive details of what was said, why this secret conversation happened, and how it could completely reshape the road to WrestleMania. Before we go any further, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell right now, because you're about to get insider-level insight that most fans will never hear. Behind the bright lights and roaring crowds, the backstage area of WWE is a world built on whispers, silent deals, and carefully guarded strategies. On January 5, 2026, while the arena was buzzing with excitement for the historic Raw debut on Netflix, something far more important was unfolding away from the spotlight. Behind a closed production office door, two men whose history defined an entire era came face to face. Roman Reigns and Seth freaking Rollins. The situation is complicated. The threat is real. Both Reigns and Rollins have recently found themselves targeted and weakened by the same dominant and arrogant faction known as the Vision, led by Paul Heyman. What once looked like isolated attacks now appears to be a calculated campaign. But the real question isn't about the Vision's power. It's about trust. Can the tribal chief and the Visionary, two men whose past is filled with betrayal, broken alliances, and brutal wars, truly put their history aside long enough to confront a shared enemy? Or are the scars between them simply too deep to ever fully heal? According to backstage sources, the meeting did not take place in a locker room, but inside a private production office, far from prying eyes. Roman Reigns arrived first, composed and commanding as always, his presence alone filling the room with quiet authority. Minutes later, Seth Rollins stepped inside. The usual wild energy was gone. In its place was a sharp, focused intensity that immediately changed the atmosphere. When the door closed, silence took over. For several long seconds, neither man spoke. They simply stared at each other, the weight of their Shield history and every violent encounter since hanging heavily in the air. It was Roman Reigns who finally broke the silence. "They think they've broken us," he said quietly, his voice calm but edged with warning. "Separated us. Made us weak." Rollins gave a slow nod, a dry, almost humorless smile forming. "They kicked me out of my own party," he replied. "And they tried to finish you before you even got back." Rollins paced the room for a moment, clearly thinking several moves ahead. Then he added, "Heyman is playing a different game now. This isn't about building the next star. This is about erasing history. Our history." Reigns leaned forward, hands clasped, eyes locked in. "I'm not here to relive the past," he said firmly. "I'm here to control the future. And that future doesn't include them holding all the gold." Rollins stopped pacing and looked directly at him. "So what exactly are you proposing?" Reigns didn't hesitate. "A truce," he said, measured and deliberate. "An understanding, for now. You handle your business. I'll handle mine. But when the moment comes, we'll remind everyone exactly who runs this place." There was no handshake. No dramatic moment of unity. Just a long, silent nod exchanged between two men who know each other better than anyone else in the locker room. And just like that, the private war council was over. Now the biggest question remains. Will this uneasy alliance actually hold when the pressure rises? How will the Vision respond if Reigns and Rollins launch a coordinated strike from two different fronts? And when the time comes, who breaks the truce first? Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop your prediction in the comments below. Is it Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins who pulls the trigger first? The battle lines may have been drawn in secret, but make no mistake. The war ahead will explode in full view of the WWE Universe.